Hi folks, this is Vicky at patternprincess.com. Today I'm finally going to show you the third blanket that I have done in a series of 6 on just a really cute baby blanket, granny square, joining granny squares and adding different borders on each one, using slightly different colors on each one. This one here, each square that I have, each square is 6 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's 4 rows of one color and then 2 rows of the contrasting color. And this one here is made from a light blue, and the gray is called a dusty gray. This one here is made from the dusty gray and a charcoal gray. It is Red Heart yarn, and I do have all of the written directions on the website so that you can get all of the information so you can make one for yourself. This is available free. I will also have the pattern on Etsy so you can purchase it without ads if you wish. But I'm going to show you today how to do the border portion of it. And this is a nice little, just little scallops. And of course, a couple rows of the border here. So it's just very, of the continuation of the granny square. It's just a very pretty pattern to do. Really easy. I've used the invisible join here for joining the squares. I think that makes it look really nice. This one here is about 37 inches long and about 30 inches wide. And it's 4 squares wide and 5 squares long. So there's 20 squares. So there are 20 of these squares. I'm sorry, 10 of these squares and 10 of these squares for a total of 20. And I've used a size H 5.0 millimeter hook. I think that that's all that I needed to make sure I told you on this. I do again I will have the links in the comment or the description section of a video on how to do the granny squares themselves and how to do the invisible join. And of course, I'm going to be showing you today how to do this really cute border. So stay tuned and we'll get going on the border. Okay, I am going to use this square here as a sample. Imagine that this is a whole blanket, as I'm going to work around this square, showing you how to do the 3 rounds for the border. However, it's done on the whole blanket. Okay, so the 3 rounds are the light blue, the charcoal gray, and the charcoal gray. Those are the 3 rounds that we're going to do, but I'm going to pretend that this square is the blanket. The beauty when we get our 3 rounds on this little square, whatever little baby gets this blanket here, this granny square blanket, is also going to get a cute little lovey that's going to be a little bit bigger, right, than this, but it's a cute little lovey size. Now I might put an applique on it or put something in the middle, but oh my gosh, what a little lovey size that this would be. So we are going to start with a light blue yarn. So to join it, I just make my slip knot. So I have the tail piece here. So I'm just going to put my fingers in, bring them around, put my hook in, grab a piece of the yarn and bring it through. And I have my little slip knot. See how they get bigger and smaller? I like to use that because, and you can start anywhere. Any little chain space of the previous rows. Right? And so I'm just going to put my hook in here and then grab my yarn, bring it through, and then I'm going to snug this up. And sometimes it takes a minute to snug this up. There we go. And then I could crochet over this yarn or bring it through, or later on weave it in. And for now I'm just going to weave it in later on, so just for ease. So the first thing we're going to do is we have a yarn attached, so I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and that is going to count as our first double crochet in here, right? And then right in the same spot, it's this same chain 1 spot, so just like we were doing before, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 double crochets. So you're essentially just carrying on with your granny square the way that you were, but you're going through the entire, you're going around the entire blanket, okay? So then we chain 1 over the 3 double crochet places, yarn over. In this place here, in the chain 1 place, we're going to do a 3 double crochet. And I'm going to continue working this all the way around. So it's just the way that we were with our other, but we're going around the whole blanket like this. We're just extending that granny square stitch. Chain 1, 3 double crochet, and then when I get to the corner, I suppose I can quickly do right up to the corner here for you. But when I get to the corner, I'm going to do the 3 double crochet and then the chain 3 and 3 double crochet. And I had to pause just a second and think, because it's really hard to talk numbers when you're counting what you're doing in front of you here, so I don't mess this up. So, and I've only got one more to go here, so that'll be quick. And I'll get to the corner, and then I'll be repeating this, and then I'm going to end with a slip stitch into the top stitch of the initial chain 3. And then we'll be changing to the dusty gray and moving on with that. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. And the reason, of course, that we do our chain 3s and such in the corners is because it helps your pieces lay flat, and it gives you room to put the next stitches in. And then we go 1, and I gotta get more yarn, and then 2, and then 3. Chain 1, and then I'm going to go up this next row. So this is how we're going to work round 1. I'm going to join here with a slip stitch into this top chain of the initial chain 3, and I'm going to meet you right back there, and then we're going to work the gray. Okay, I just finished going all the way around, and I did my last 3 double crochet in the corner, and I did a chain 1, right, because you're going to be over these other 3 double crochets. And so then I'm going to put my hook in here, and then I'm going to do a slip stitch into the top stitch here, if I can get my hook in. There we go. So sometimes you have to force it. There we go, and I just did my slip stitch. So this row is done. I'm going to cut off my yarn here, and of course I like to leave a little bit longer tails so that I can go ahead and weave them in, and I'm just going to, actually I'm just going to pull it through here for now, and I'll weave that through. So the next round is going to be the light gray. So the light gray, I could have started it off here, I could have brought it through my yarn, but sometimes it gets kind of bulky there, and I want to kind of hide I like to hide our yarn a little bit more, so like once I weave this in, you won't even be able to notice that I had that little loop starting here, and you won't be able to see that I stopped here. You will not see any of that. You won't be able to pick this out when I get done, okay? So the light gray is next. So what I like to do, instead of starting it here, I'll pick a different spot, anywhere. And it's the same pattern. So that we'll be closer to this corner here, I'll do it here. And again, this next row really is just another continuation of our granny stitch. So the same stitch that we just did, the same pattern, this is what makes this so nice for a beginner. The same pattern that we just did with the blue, we're now going to do with the light gray. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and get my yarn started here. And I don't know what I did here with my little slip stitch, but I messed that up. Oh, it drives me nuts. Okay, so I'm gonna start over here, right? I'm just gonna put my hook in here, grab the yarn and bring it through my little spot, and then I'll snug it up. And I can also snug it up later too, a little bit as I'm sewing in. So again, we're going to start with our chain 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That counts as our first double crochet. And then we're going to do 2 more right in the spot here. So this is pretty easy, right? Just as you just did the light blue row, chain 1, we're going to do the same thing with the gray. Okay? So we're going to work through this all the way over to the corner. And then in the corner, we work our 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. And we're going to work that in our corner chain 3 space. So there's 2, 3, chain 1, 3 more double crochet, 1, 2, 3. Get this out of the way too, because I keep dinging that and it might be annoying for some folks. Let me grab some more yarn here. Okay, let's do our chain 1, and then we're going to go work our 3 double crochet. There's 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 2, 3. Then in the same place, 3 double crochet. And then we continue on with our chain 1 and then 3 double crochet in each chain 1 space. So I'm going to continue working this, and I'm going to come back over here, and then I'm going to end with a chain 1 and then a slip stitch right into that top stitch here. And then we're going to work around and we're going to do the 3rd row, which is the last row. And see how nice it's going to be sized for a little lovey. I just love these. And then that'll be the shell stitch row. Okay. Okay, I've finished the 2nd round of the gray. So first we had the light blue, then we had the dusty gray. I've done my slip stitch into this row here, into this top stitch of the first chain 3. Now we're ready for our 3rd row. Our 3rd row is where we do a row of shell stitches. And I'm going to show you on this blanket here. So look at how different it looks with the different colors here. So this is would be a square with the blue. So we had the blue in the middle, then we had the light gray, and then we of course had, or I should say the dusty gray. Then we have here's the outer row, the first round of the border of the light blue. Then the dusty gray, this is where we are now, right? That's where we are right now. And then we're going to add on this shell stitch border. Okay, so this is a very nice, easy pattern to do, and we're only going to be working in the chain spaces. And it's a really easy way to do this here. So what we're going to do is in the first spot right where we are, we're going to do a chain 3, which starts as a double crochet, 2, 3, okay? And then this is in that chain 1 space, okay? Then rather than work here, I'm gonna, like when I come back to the other side, I'm gonna finish this little spot here. So I have a chain 3, so I'm going to skip now over to the next chain space. Skip all the next 2 double crochet. I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to do 2 double crochet. Like I said, I'm going to finish that other spot where I just started when I get to from the other side, because I think it'll lay nicer. So I have 1 double crochet, 2. Then I'm going to chain 1. And then in that same space, I'm going to do 2 more double crochet. 1, 2. Then I'm going to go over right here to the next chain space, and we're going to do 2 more double crochet, and this is our pattern. Whoopsies, I didn't get all the yarn. We're going to do 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet in every single chain 1 space. Well, I am just struggling here. Let's go again. 1, there we go. 2, chain 1, and then 1 double crochet, 2. See how that's starting to take shape? And then I'm almost to the corner here, and I'll show you the corner what we do. You can be surprised what we do, but it blended in so nicely, and it was so easy to do. It's just kind of like when you work in your granny square, you just know, oh, I just jump over to the open hole, and it makes it so easy. You don't really have to count. We just have 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and then we're going to go over to our corner stitch. This is our corner stitch. This is our chain 3 space. Guess what? We are going to work in the corner space, 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. So just as you have been, that's what you're going to work there. Okay, so that's what we're going to quick do. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then chain 3, 2, 3, and then 3 more double crochet, 2, 3, and then now we're onto the next side. So we're going to skip these. We're going to go into that chain space, and guess what? We're going to do the 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. I mean, isn't that easy? And then we'll do this all the way around, and then we're going to end up ending. We'll end, and I'll show you on the other side, but we're going to end with a 2 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, and then a slip stitch into that top chain 3 space. But see how that little shell stitch and border is starting to come? Isn't that really pretty? And again, you don't really have to count much. It's pretty easy. So I'm going to continue working on this and come around to the other side, and I'll make sure I work this last spot with you, okay? Okay, we've made it all around. So this is our very last row, okay? I've done all of my double crochets, and I'm up to that spot where I did my first chain 3 right here. So now we go into that, yarn over and go into that space and do our 2 double crochet. And then a chain 1, and then we still have to do another double crochet, because remember that first chain 3 counted as a double crochet. And so now all that we do is we're going to slip stitch into this top stitch, and that is it. We have now, I'll weave that in later. I'm going to weave all my little yarn ends in here for this, but look at this. We have made a little lovey to go along with the blanket. And again, here is what the other squares look like in the blanket. And I'll have some photos on here for you too. But I think that this is a very pretty blanket, and it was a very fun project to do. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date to anything that I post on the YouTube, and make sure you come to visit the crochet site as well to get a bunch of free patterns. So thank you again for watching, and take care.